Welcome back to the Archive Network. Aurelius here, with Malik, curators of the Conflict Archive. We left American Civil War last time as autumn faded. President Lincoln visited Gettysburg. Today, we pick up where we left off. July 1863. The heat pressed down on Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, as two massive armies converged. Picture this: dust swirling in the air, the distant rumble of cannons echoing in the valley. Soldiers, weary yet resolute, prepared for a clash that would determine not just their fates, but the very future of a nation. You could almost feel the tension crackling like a summer storm. History was watching, and in that moment, everything felt precariously balanced, waiting to tip one way or the other.
It's really easy to romanticize those moments, Aurelius. But for the townsfolk, it was pure chaos. They were hiding in cellars, clutching one another, terrified. Their lives were uprooted, torn apart by generals who saw them as nothing more than props in their grand designs. You have to think about the families, the children, the elderly. They didn't sign up for this. Their stories are often lost, but they lived through it all, day by day, just trying to survive.
The first day was chaos and terror. Confederate troops advanced through the morning haze, their rifles barking like angry thunder. Union pickets fell back, scrambling to find cover as the streets morphed into a battlefield. Smoke mingled with the cries of men. This was a violent clash of wills. We witnessed the raw brutality of conflict, a harbinger of the relentless struggle that lay ahead. In moments like these, we see just how history unfolds, shaping destinies with every shot fired.
But let's not forget the human cost, Aurelius. Families were torn apart in those streets. The cries of the wounded echoed through Gettysburg, filling the air with sorrow. It wasn't just numbers on a page. It was mothers searching for their children, fathers grieving lost sons. It was a community shattered, each life a thread in the fabric of that town. This is the true price of war, a reminder of what we stand to lose.
Day 2 dawned harsh and relentless, a sun that bore down like a judgment. The battle spread across rocky slopes and sun-bleached ridges, turning these once quiet hills into a theater of despair. Names like Little Round Top and Devil's Den became synonymous with sacrifice, echoing with the cries of those who fought. Each name carries a weight, a stark reminder of the desperate struggle we now recount. These places, they tell a story of endurance, of what happens when empires clash.
Names matter, but so do the faces behind them. Those Union soldiers clawing up boulders weren't just nameless ranks. They were men struggling against fear and fatigue, each one carrying the weight of their hopes and dreams. The wheatfield wasn't just a location. It was a graveyard of dreams, where so many young lives were lost, each one a story cut short. We need to remember that every statistic represents a person who had a family, a future, and a reason to fight.
On July 3rd, the air was heavy with dread. Robert E. Lee, in a final desperate bid for glory, ordered one last, massive assault. 12,000 Confederates lined up, their hearts buoyed by the belief that victory was within their grasp. The ground shook beneath their feet as they marched forward, a sight reminiscent of ancient battles where empires rose and fell. It was a moment steeped in ambition and the tragic folly of war, echoing throughout history.
But this wasn't just another battle, Aurelius. It was a desperate gamble, one that could have changed everything. Lee's overconfidence turned out to be a fatal flaw. It wasn't merely a charge. It was a catastrophic miscalculation. So many brave souls were caught in that chaos, fighting for what they believed in, only to pay the ultimate price. We can't forget the faces behind those numbers. Each life lost was a story untold, a family shattered.
Union cannon opened fire, unleashing chaos on the advancing lines. The air was thick with the roar of explosions and the anguished cries of the wounded. Pickett's charge faltered, a tragic end to what had been a heroic effort. We saw hope shatter like glass, mingling with the bodies strewn across that field. Each blast marked not just a loss of life, but the fading dreams of those who dared to believe they could change the course of history.
A Union victory, yes, but at what cost? Over 50,000 men were killed, wounded, or reported missing. Just think about that. So many families shattered. Gettysburg turned into a grim hospital, a place where the sounds of celebration were drowned out by cries of pain. The aftermath left a deep scar, a haunting reminder of the war's brutality. Each number represents a life, a story cut short, and a community left to mourn. We can't forget that.
As the dust settled, we witnessed the town's transformation. Surgeons worked tirelessly, their hands slick with blood as they fought against the clock. Families sifted through the debris, calling out for loved ones, voices tinged with desperation. The stench of death hung in the air, a grim reminder that even in victory we pay a steep price. In the aftermath, we confront the reality of our choices and the human cost hidden beneath the surface of glory.
And while all this was happening, far to the south, Vicksburg was facing a grim reality. Civilians and soldiers alike were pushed to their limits, struggling day after day, with dwindling supplies and hunger gnawing at their bellies. Grant's siege wasn't just a military strategy. It turned into a heartbreaking human crisis. Families were torn apart, and the once vibrant streets echoed with despair. The Union's victory at Vicksburg only deepened the South's suffering, leaving scars that would take years to heal.
As autumn faded into memory, President Lincoln made his somber pilgrimage to Gettysburg. He stood among the graves, speaking of a new birth of freedom. His words echoed with a glimmer of hope, yet they also served as a stark reminder of the heavy cost we've borne. The war, relentless and merciless, continued to claim lives, a grim testament to our struggle. We must remember this moment, for it reveals both our resilience and the profound weight of our sacrifices.
That's where we leave it this time. American Civil War continues. The story isn't finished yet. Find the full series on the Conflict Archive, part of the Archive Network. We'll be back with the next chapter.